All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Welcome to another live lesson. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh. The name of this one is In the Hour of Temptation. And pretty much this is going to be centered around the times that we're coming to, because it's going to really get rough out here. And one of the things that we're supposed to do as church and leaders is to warn the flock of things that are coming, so that they can brace themselves for the things that are coming. This is Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Because what you see about to happen on the earth, this is the indignation of the Lord about to start opening up in this place. You know, he's about to start doing wondrous things, you know, as these devils, you know, push their agenda more and more, as they restrict people more and more from moving freely. Pretty much you're gonna see the Lord, you know, do his thing, you know, and these are things we should be speaking about, which are pertain to prophecy. Let me know if the music in the background is a little too loud, because these are things that pertain to prophecy, and in order for the kingdom to come, the prophecies must be fully fulfilled. This is Ezekiel 13, and the reason why I'm reading this scripture is because this is what the leaders and shepherds of Israel are supposed to, the water brothers, are supposed to be doing. And shalom to the sincere Akim on the comment board, and to the Akwath. And this is what a leader is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to listen to the words that come from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and give Israel the warning. And they, whether they will hear, whether they will forbear, that's of no consequence to us. They know, they heard. You know, there's no excuse, as Yahushai said. If I had not come, they would have had no cloak for their sins. This is Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 4. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because the Most High is about to do battle on the earth, which he's already doing it, has been doing it, but it's going to get more and more intense. It's going to intensify more and more. And as the days go by, you know, the year of prophecy is almost done. Remember, not too long ago, it was just 2020. Now it's October 26, 2020. You know, about less than a month and a week, and we'll be in 2021, which is going to bring a whole total different spirit. And the main thing they're going to be pushing is this vax. You know, the max, you know, Maxine and the chip. You know, that's what's going to be on the agenda, because everything you see now is leading towards that. And these futuristic movies in the past and now are pushing for this chip, you know, to get everybody acclimated, or everybody conditioned, you know, to having everything that they possess, including their own being, online. This is why everything is moving in a biometric type way, whether it's a chip put into the hand, or there's a chip or device put into the brain, whether it's, you know, finances, going online, cashless societies. It's all gearing towards the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. And as they push their agenda forward, they see by stats that the majority, more than half of the population in America will be willing to take a max, will be willing to get, chipped, so on and so forth. So they know that they have the other part, the other 42% to deal with, and this is where the tribulation is really going to get bad, the hour of temptation. And pretty much I'm saying all of this because the times are going to be hard. Now, I just popped these two definitions on temptation. It says temptation, a powerful attraction that is designed. See, these things that Esau does, they're designed. Remember Psalm 64, they inquire a diligent search or something along those lines. A powerful attraction that is designed to get you to change your mind about something, even though you don't really believe it is correct. And why is a temptation so terrible? Because when people are in a position, a vulnerable position of hunger, of cold, of desperation, anything sounds good in order to get out of that situation, even though in their mind they know it may not be the correct thing to do. You see, and that's what's so deceptive about temptation. All right, so the next definition, it says the act of tempting, enticement, or allurement. Something that tempts, entices, or allures. The fact or state of being tempted, especially to evil. An instance of this. So pretty much, these devils know what motivates people. Remember, they've been planning and plotting and testing many different scenarios on many different people throughout different parts of the world. So they know that one of the greatest motivators is hunger, desperation, uncertainty, poverty, and these are things that they're pushing people into. They're backing people into a corner. They're backing people into the corner of uncertainty. So that way they can, make a decision as to what they're going to do. You're going to accept our way, or you're going to starve. You're going to accept our way, or you're going to be cold. You're going to accept our way, or you're going to be homeless. You're going to accept our way, or you're going to be jobless, which means eventually you'll be homeless. So there's a lot of underhanded stuff that they do. And, as the grip gets tighter, it's going to get harder and harder out here. This is Acts 14:21. This is why the scriptures say, let's get that real quick. This is why the scriptures are what we go to, in order to for our protection. Because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Romans 15:4 says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime. Remember, what we're going through now is nothing new. It has been written about. So we have the scriptures, to comfort us, to as a blanket, around us, to assure us that when these things start to happen, somehow, some way, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to do something to protect us. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. But that doesn't mean that we won't be tempted. That doesn't mean that we won't be tried. That doesn't mean that we won't go through some of these adversities and tribulations. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. See, that we, through patience, the word patience means to suffer, and comfort. Before honor is humility. Patience is humility. Comfort is honor. That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. See, because it's all about that hope, which equals faith. Now, let's go to the book of Acts. Go to the book of Acts. I believe we've read that already, but I want to read it again. If not, I read it a couple of times, so it's a lot if I didn't read it already. Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples. So this is a confirmation. What is a confirmation? It's showing that this is what is meant by what is written or what was spoken. Confirming the souls of the disciples. Because the disciples are the disciplined ones, the ones that are, Yahushua told those people that believed in him, he said what? You are my disciples if you continue in my work. See? So this is a confirmation of the souls of the disciples and exhorting them, to encourage them to continue in the faith, because things are going to get hard. The trial of your faith being much more precious than gold, that perish, than gold, something along those lines. Think it not strange concerning the fiery trial that is to try you, as if some strange thing happened unto you. And pretty much these lessons, that brothers do, beginning with the apostles and the elders and the bishops and, the different teachers, these are exhortations, these are warnings, these are also comforting lessons. And they're also lessons of redeeming the time, because the days are evil, perilous times are coming. And while, certain brothers and sisters are getting themselves prepared, others are out there lollygagging and playing around, because the leaders that they looked up to and they trusted in are pretty much putting them to sleep and telling them you don't have anything to worry about. Nothing's going to happen to you, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So through much tribulation, there's going to be a lot of tribulation. I try to get the blue letter Bible, but for some reason it's not allowing me to, saying it's insecure or unsafe or whatever the case is, So, all right, now let's move on. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, because all this is being said, the stranglehold and the trials and tribulations and the hour of temptation and the different temptations that are going to be happening, the hard times that are coming. We have the greatest example of a lot of this, the things that are going, or of all the things that are going on in Yahushua. And that's pretty much what prompted me to go into this lesson, because I woke up like around 4 a.m, and that the thought came into mind about the hour of temptation, and then the crucifixion of Yahushua and the things that he went through, because he went through his hour of temptation. And Lord's will, we're going to read those 2 chapters. They're pretty long, but our Lord's will, we'll get through both of them, Matthew 26 and Matthew 27, to show step by step, blow by blow, the hour of Yahushua's temptation, the things he went through, and it's going to be the same exact thing, but just different, us, being different spirits dealing with the situation, so look at it as that way. Yahushua's walk, and he was being tempted by Satan. He was being, he was in the hour of temptation. He didn't want to go through it, but at the end he knew he had to. So prior to his crucifixion, this is what he told the disciples. Or actually, this is a what they call the Sermon on the Mount, So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. This is when he had started his ministry. It says, "After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name," because the name is very important. "Thy kingdom come," because the kingdom has to come in order for this kingdom to fall. So in order for the Most High's kingdom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's kingdom to come, this kingdom of Esau and the heathen nations has to go down. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven, so that on earth righteousness can rule again, as the apostle Peter said, that this new world is going to be wherein dwelleth righteousness. It says, "Give us this day our daily bread," because we need bread to be sustained physically and spiritually. and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And this is why Yahweh made it so plain that if a brother offends you and he asks for forgiveness, we're supposed to forgive him. Because if we don't forgive our brother of his debts, then the Lord won't forgive us of our debts. See? It says, and lead us not into temptation. See? Because it is a very easy thing in this society, as wicked as it is, and this flesh being so weak, to be easily led into temptation. And we read about temptation. Temptation is deceptive. To temptation, a powerful attraction. You know, when you brothers out there, you meet a woman and you have that connection, but it's like a strong attraction you have to this woman. You know, like you just gotta have her. Well, that's what temptation is. A powerful attraction that is designed, because it's designed this way. You got to remember, these devils have done a diligent search in everything that they've done, you know, and they've tried it out on people, and they see how it works. It says a powerful attraction that is designed to get you to change your mind about something, even though you don't really believe it is correct, right? Because you know that this temptation is not correct, but being that, you know, the flesh is weak, and the flesh is hungry, and the flesh is weary, and the flesh is tired, you know, what is the next solution? Find comfort for the flesh so that it can stop being, you know, in this state. All right, so that's why I said, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Evil is bad times to come. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be true. So now let's get into it. This is Matthew chapter 26. This is leading up to the crucifixion of Yahweh. So he knew his hour was approaching. He kept telling the disciples. They didn't understand at the time. One day the Messiah woke up. It was business as usual. He did what his manner was, going out teaching, you know, going through the business, you know, dealing with his disciples, speaking to the people, you know, eating food and doing, you know, what he normally did on a day-to-day basis. And then eventually it came to the point where he was betrayed, brought before the chief priests and the governors and all of that, the high priest. And then from that point on, it was just all downhill pretty much. So this is Matthew 26:1. And it came to pass, you know, so I said that to say this, that now you see in how they're restricting things. They're starting to have checkpoints, and they're starting to say, well, if you were from one state, you can't cross over into another state, you know. And if you do, they're going to be randomly selecting and picking people, whether you have out-of-state plates or in-state plates. And then, you know, if they pull you over, you either get tested or you're quarantined for 14 days, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, the sun, moon, the stars. So now the first reaction or the first thought is, well, I don't want to go there because I don't want to be held up for 2 weeks. I got a family, I got a job, I got this, I got that, I got the other. So the first thought is you want things to continue on the way that they do. But you got to remember that man's goings are of the Lord. You know, so if the case be that has to happen, then it has to happen. And that's the bottom line. You know, all we pray for is the Lord to give us a spirit to fare well, to do the right thing. You know? So Matthew 26, when it came to pass, when Yahweh had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, you know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. So he's breaking it down. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. So pretty much you have to remember, these are Israelites. They know that they're Israelites. You know, they're lauded as being, you know, leaders and whatever. And they're looking on how to kill Yahushua. So don't be surprised if you have Israelites out there that know that they're Israelites, that have a reputation, that are known, and they turn and give other Israelites over to the Roman authorities, today being America, and wherever brothers may be in the world. It says, now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, because remember, Judas Iscariot betrayed the Lord. The other disciples didn't know that he was going to betray him, but Yahushua knew. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, and sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. See? Because he knew that the hour of temptation for him was coming. Now, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he could have easily just ran. He said, you know what, Peter, John, y'all can wait for me here. I'm out of here. And dip out the back door and flee. But no, he didn't do that. You know, now, the scriptures don't say it. I mean, but knowing how the spirits mess with your mind. Because remember, before Yahushua actually was crucified, the angels had to come and minister unto him, because he was in a very vulnerable state at that time. So he could have thought in his mind, well, I'll flee. But, you know, I'm not saying that. It's not written. I'm just extrapolating, you know, as a mind thinks when they're in danger to get away, you know. So it says, verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her. It says, then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, what will you give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought an opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahushua, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepared for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Yahushua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now notice Yahushua's birth, his crucifixion, it all happened around the time of the Passover. Because he is the Passover lamb. You know, he is that lamb that taketh away the sin of the world of Israel. It says, now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, because it had to be fulfilled. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, thou hast said. It says, and as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you that I will not henceforth, and I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. So still business as usual. Then saith Yahushua unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. And everything has to be fulfilled in the scriptures. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. And he told them everything that was going to go down, but it still was going over their heads. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. And they meant it, but they didn't understand that scriptures had to be fulfilled. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, which was, Elder Apostle Gabar broke this down. I believe the oil press, you know, because Yahushua was the oil being pressed. And saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be sorrowful. See, this is the thing. He was being sorrowful. So you got to picture, Yahushua wasn't, that day, he just did 100 push-ups. Yeah, I'm ready to go on that cross, man. What is that? I'm ready for them. Yo, Judas, man, what's up, Nick? What's up, man? What's really good, man? When you gonna go get them pounds so they can come get me? Because I'm ready, man. I'm feeling good today, man. I did 100 push-ups. I ran 3 miles. Nah, he didn't have that spirit. He was very sorrowful because he knew this shows you that although he's the son of the Most High, he was in the flesh. And that was written for us so that we can have, an example of, look, he went through it, and he said we're going to have to go through it, So it says, and very heavy. So he was sorrowful and very heavy. He wasn't, amped up, like he just finished running a marathon, or just finished powerlifting. No, he was very sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. So now you got to picture this. The disciples, they went through the day. They prepared the Passover. They ate the Passover. They were drinking yayan. So it's coming to the time of in the evening. So they're getting tired. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation, because this was the night and the hour of Yahushua's temptation. You see, Yahushua said the servant is not greater than his master. So we're all going to be tested. We're all going to be tested. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this hour of temptation is going to be upon everybody. But the elect will fare well. It says the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. See? He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand. What hour? The hour of Yahushua's temptation. So Yahushua is not asking of us nothing that he didn't himself go through. Remember what he said about the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees and them. He said they bind no heavy burdens, but they themselves will not lift them with one finger. So everything that is asked of us, Yahushua went through it. He dealt with it. So it's not like he's asking us to do anything unreasonable that he himself didn't take on. Because Yahushua is not a hypocrite. He went through it, and we're going to go through it. And the same way he prayed to the Father, we're praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for the guidance, for the spirit, for the ability to get through it. One scene that always comes to mind when I think about the hour of temptation from time to time is a scene in the movie Braveheart. When William Wallace, Mel Gibson was in the prison, he was about to be brought out and tormented, and pretty much he prayed. He said, he asked the Lord to give him the strength to deal with that. He said, "Let me die well," or something like that. And that's very heavy, man. So Yahushua is asking the Lord, to take that cup, but that's what he was set up for. So he says, behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be gone. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him great multitude with swords and staffs from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whosoever I shall kiss, that same is he, hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. So don't be surprised that happens again. You know, so we don't know how it's going to play out. We have different scenarios of how it can go down, and that's the spirit. Elder Menachem Zakba put the scripture I was thinking about. Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Because remember, we're here because Yahushua gave up his life for us. So it is our reasonable service to present our bodies as a living sacrifice. You know, so anyone that has a problem with that, then more than likely they're not part of the elect. And behold, one of them, which were with Yahushua, stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. One thing I forgot to mention is up here in the prayer that Yahushua was praying to the Father to take that cup from him, and he came to the disciples and he said, "Can you wait 1 hour with me?" Because he was in this distressed state. He was very sorrowful. He was very, heavy, and he wanted somebody there with him, so that he could have somebody there with him. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we're all alone. There's a brotherhood, we have Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, the truth and all that. There's a brotherhood, but at the end of the day, each man has to walk this path on his own. No one can hold your hand. No one can hold our hands. And that's when I read that. That's what I picture. Like, the Most High is saying to him, "You got to deal with this on your own." These disciples, they can't help you. Let every soul work out. Let work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? And that's the truth. Because the scriptures have to be fulfilled in order for the kingdom to come. It said, in that same hour, said Yahushua to the multitudes, are you come out as against a thief, with swords and staves to take me? Yeah, because going back to the situation, when he was asking the disciples the way from, it's a little easier when you have somebody there with you, to help, take the burden. But at the end of the day, we have to do this, each individual person, each individual Israelite, that is going to be saved has to go through this on his own. I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. So everything happened because the scriptures had to be fulfilled. I don't know how many times that phrase comes up, during Yahushua's ministry, and just in general. Because the scriptures have to be fulfilled in order for the next phase to come. And the hour of temptation, the time of Jacob's trouble, has to be fulfilled in order for the Lord to come in, step in, and deliver, the elect from that situation. So it says, and they that laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and all the council saw false witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the Most High, and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? But Yahushua held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power, that thou tell us whether thou be the anointed, the Son of the Most High. Yahushua saith unto him, thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall you see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, he hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now you heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. You know? So this is what the path that Yahushua had to take. Then did they spit in his face and buffet him. So here it is. Yahushua came to shed his blood for the nation of Israel, and this is the thanks he gets. You know? And others smote him with the palm of their hand, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou anointed, who is he that smote thee? And he knows everybody that did him wrong. And they're going to get it. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Yahushua of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yahushua of Nazareth. And again he denied it with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Yahushua, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. But that was because the scripture had to be fulfilled. All right, now let's go to Matthew 27 and 1. When the morning was come, so you got to look at it like that, you know, like all the stuff that they went through during the day. They're tired. Yahushua has been up all night. He's been spit upon, beaten, you know. He's been questioned, interrogated, you know, and now he's being brought, you know, before more councils. So he was dead tired. You know, you drinking your yun, the next day, you know, if you don't drink water, you thirsty as hell. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw what was that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? So it's evil, wicked, you know, devils. You know, and what's that to us? You know, like that's on you. See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful for them to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and bought with them a potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver and the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Yahushua stood before the governor, this is Pontius Pilate, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. You know, says, Now at the feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would, and they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. And remember, this is not in the law, in the scriptures, and none of that. This is just something that Jake came up with. This is those customs and leaven of the Pharisees that Yahushua warned the disciples about. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you? Barabbas or Yahushua, which is called the Anointed? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. So this man was astute enough to know that the reason why Yahushua was before him, just after questioning him just for a few minutes, he knew that because they were envious of this man, they brought him to it. The same way you have, you know, these different Israelite groups that are envious of the men of Great Millstone because of the great knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Lord gave. And it's because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gave it. It ain't, you know, because of anything else. You know? Remember, Yahweh said the servant is not greater than his master. When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate saith unto them, What shall I do then with Yahushua, which is called the Anointed? They all say unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. So there was nothing that they could really accuse him of, but they just wanted him dead because the leaders, he was messing up the leaders' money, their position. So they convinced the people to have him crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. But he's not innocent because he's still going to have to pay because of what he did, and you'll see. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. That's why you had a lot of Israelites that caught hell, them and their children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahushua, he delivered him to be crucified. So why, if he was a just man, and you really believe that, why did you scourge Yahushua? So he beat Yahushua and delivered him to him. So he still got to pay. Then the soldiers of the governor, then his soldiers took Yahushua into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. So he had a whole band of soldiers, a whole squadron of soldiers, and they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. So who in their right mind would want to go through all this? To go through this humiliation? So Yahushua had his moment that he had to deal with, that he had to gird up, that he had to pray to the Lord to give him strength. And remember, there's other scriptures when you read this account where it says that in the Garden of Gethsemane, after he prayed, the angels had to come and minister to him, because the flesh is weak. That's why he told the disciples that the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And that's why this term temptation is so deceptive. That's why this term temptation is so deceptive. Temptation, a powerful attraction that is designed, a powerful attraction that is designed to get you to change your mind about something, even though you don't really believe it is correct. You see? So this is not correct, a temptation, but it's powerful enough and designed to change your mind about something, because at the end of the day, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And then on top of all this, what they did, and they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. So remember, he's traumatized from being beaten from the Jews. He's tired all night, probably hungry, thirsty, in a state of, he was very heavy, very sorrowful. He's bruised up. Then he got scourged. Then he was interrogated. Then he got scourged. Then he's getting mocked by these Roman soldiers. They stripped him of his clothes. He got no clothes on. They put a scarlet robe on him. They put the crown of thorns on his head. Then they hit him in the head with a reed. Then they mocking him, and they spitting upon him. It says, and after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him and put on his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. So on top of all of that, now he went from all of that humiliation, punishment, torment, to now going to have to go on the cross. And on top of that, not just going on a cross, but having to carry the very cross that they're going to nail him to. And he did this for us. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross, because he was so, messed up that Simon had to help him. And Simon was an Israelite from Cyrene, because you had a lot of Israelites down in Cyrene, which is in North Africa. Then you had the Alexandrian Jews, so on and so forth. It says, and when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. Yeah. And this place, Golgotha, the place of the skull, this is outside of Jerusalem. Yep, that's right, that's right. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled. See, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, this is Yahushua, the King of the Jews. Then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left, and this is to fulfill prophecy. He was how does it go in Isaiah 53? Let me get that real quick. I want to save that because I might. Isaiah 53. I wanna get the right quote. Right here, 12, 53 and 12. It says, therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death. See, he poured his soul out unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors. Those were the two thieves, on the one on the right hand, the other on the left, and bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. That's right. So going back, then were the two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads. You still had niggas talking shit and saying, thou that destroyed the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. And they didn't understand what he meant by that. He didn't say he would destroy the temple. He said, destroy this temple, meaning he was talking about his body. If thou be the Son of the Most High, come down from the cross. Now, this is a wicked sign. See? When they wanted this sign, this is the wicked sign. If they come down off the cross, and we will believe that you're the Son of the Most High. That's a wicked sign. Because you have some individuals that are saying if you looking for signs that that's against the law. Well, show me the law, because there's no law on that. But there you do have those that seek for a sign that are being evil or wicked. Likewise, also the chief priests. Mocking him, with the scribes and elders said. So imagine that. All of that he went through, and you're in excruciating pain on the cross with these nails through your hands, through your feet, the crown of thorns on your head, you're all bruised up, beat up, spit upon, thirsty, hungry, and then you have these assholes that you're dying for cursing you out. He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him not come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in the Most High, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of the Most High. The thieves also which were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth, which is one of them. It says, now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. This is to say, my power, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, the man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake and the rocks rent. And there's another part in the scriptures that he said it is finished, because he finished that work. He went through the hour of temptation. He made it through. Yahweh gave him the spirit to endure it, although his flesh was weak. So the bottom line is, when the time comes, the elect will be given that drive, that zeal, that energy that they need in order to get to finish the course. It says, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him, watching Yahushua, saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly this was the Son of the Most High, because they considered it. And many women were there, beholding afar off, which followed Yahushua from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Joses, and the mother of Zebedee's children. When even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Yahushua's disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahushua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. Yeah, because this is also, he made his burial with the rich or something like that. And Isaiah 53. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. So this goes into the resurrection of Yahushua. But the point is that Yahushua went through his hour of temptation. He showed his disciples how to pray to not be led into temptation. Because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And temptation is very deceptive when the flesh wants comfort, when the flesh wants rest. When the flesh wants something to drink or something to eat. So it's going to be very bad, very troubling. And a lot of these other Israelite groups are not preparing the people for what's coming. They're mocking us, saying that the time of Jacob's trouble is gay. I mean, why would you even say some stupid shit like that? A bunch of reprobates. But the scriptures say that evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. So we're entering into the time of temptation. It's about to go down. Just remember, what Yahweh went through. That the scriptures say that things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Remember the great sacrifice of Yahushua. Whenever we're in these tribulations and these times of hardship, confirming the souls of the disciples that they through much tribulation must enter into the kingdom of heaven. We know these things are coming. We know that these things are about to pop off. The sooner they happen, the sooner the kingdom of heaven comes. So these devils need to just go ahead and get it on, so that we can go to the next phase. Because this kingdom is taxing. This kingdom is demonic. It weighs heavy on you. And the sooner this devil does what he got to do, the sooner we can get the hell out of here. Now they ain't no reptilians. They're the sons of Satan. They're the children, the sons and daughters of Satan, the Edomites. But they're not reptilian. That's some nonsense that's been taught in these different circles. Because just to get a quick precept on that, a reptile is a different species from man. Let's get that real quick and close out. 1 Corinthians 15 and 39. It says, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another fishes, and another birds. So these are they're different flesh. So you have men, you have beasts, you have fishes, and you have birds. So a reptile is not the same as a man. This is just some BS that they've taught. The Planet Nibiru and forget the name that they use for those so-called beings, but those are not. That's not who they are. They're men and women in the flesh, but their vibration comes from the left-hand side of the Most High, which is Satan. They come from Satan. All right, so with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. To the next time I say Shalom. Yeah, there you go, Anunnaki, the water, the brother Yahweh from Hawaii, the Anunnaki. Yep, that's nonsense. That's cunningly devised fables. All right, so I pray that you brothers and sisters have been edified. To the next time I say Shalom.